We must change the faces, the personalities. In Italy, usually the same faces are in the same places, and also the modality, the strategies. Around the world changed. Why in Italy this is impossible? Our idea is exactly that: change faces and change ways. I think the first plan we have is have the opportunity to improve around the country, in every city, a new generation of politicians, a new generation of people who believed in the politics like an opportunity to way out for the Italy of the crisis, and also for the politicians to give a new dignity at our jobs. Because in the last period we lost a lot of dignity in Italy. The first plan is create a new generation around all the country. And the new generation could change not only the places, but only the language and the ideas. I decided for my team in Florence to choose 5 women and 3 men, because I decided to change the usual relation between women and men. Maybe the future of Italy could be led by a woman and not by a man. It's very important. The future will be led by a new generation and not the old degeneration. I hope the revolution in our party could be a great revolution, not for the party, but for the country. A revolution focused on the reducing of bureaucracy and invest a new generation for the in the universities, in the schools, in the public schools. A revolution with a new idea of Italy. Italy like a land in which all is possible. Now, Italy is considered like a land in which all is impossible, because there are a very terrible bureaucracy, a very terrible disgregation also between the institutions. I am the mayor, I must speak with the president of province, with the president of region, with the prime minister of the minister of all the institutions. An idea in which Italy come back to the past, come back to the ideas of the past, in which if you have a good idea, you must realize it. This is the great chance for change Italy, for the ideas of real revolution, of real innovation. The first transformation in the left party, in the Democrat Party in Italy, is in the approach the same of Tony Blair in the 90s in England. Because I remember when Tony Blair spoke about his party, and he told, okay, I love my party. I love all the traditions of my party. Avoid one tradition. What tradition? The tradition of lose the elections. Also in Italy, the situation is the same. We have the tradition to lose the elections. And I think we must change in the approach. We need a party who is not only a party who fights for the particular battles, is a party who wins, who is able to give an hope to the people. In the policies, I think it's very important to give now a perspective of economic growth, a new dignity of a human being in this moment, but not with the traditional ideologies of the past. If I think about the 20th century, I see a different world from today. And so we have the new approach, the relation between economics and politics, the financial crisis and the role of traditional manufacturers, the ability to give a new vision in the geographic context. I am young only in Italy because I'm a 37-year-old, and around the world, 37-year-old is not the young generation. It's the normal generation, it's the adult generation. I am the mayor of my city, and it's normal to explain my ideas, my purpose, and receive the critical on Twitter, on Facebook, on the website modality approach. In Florence, in my city, we have a blogger, a team, a part of citizens who make the purpose for the city, who have the criticism against the mayor, but it's a normal way to encourage the participation and the political life. Berlusconi won the election 3 times in Italy, not only for his ability, but also for the responsibility of left. We must recognize the ability of Silvio Berlusconi in the electoral campaign. He was an incredible electoral campaigner. I think it was a terrible government. This is another question. In the left of responsibility, I think the most important was don't understand the real relation between the Italian people and the message of Silvio Berlusconi. Berlusconi really spoke at the Italian people with a very simple message and ability to dream, ability to give a perspective, while the Italian left remain at the position only a very bureaucratic approach. This is the first responsibility. It's impossible to understand the presence in Italy of a man who was the most important editor and also the candidate, because this is not normal in the Anglo-Saxon democracies and also in Europe. In this case, there are a responsibility of center left when, while the last years of 90s, the left government didn't make the modifies to conflict of interest law. I think the decision of D'Alema's government to avoid the change, the conflict interest law, was an incredible, a terrible mistake, because in every democracy around the world it's normal to have a conflict interest law. I think also this is not the only responsibility of left party. Our responsibilities were also the inability to understand the strong relation between the message of Silvio Berlusconi and the Italian opinion of 90s and the first years of 2000. This depends on a lot of things. Also of the role of television in the educational system in Italy, because really the TV on 80s and 90s changed the mind of a new generation. I was grow up with the private TV. I was grow up in incredible, in different ways from my father and my mother. Florence have in every time a lot of problem on the relation between the past and the future. We have a great past, terrible for the present, because our cultural heritage are here in every part of city, like a very impressive message. Our father, our grandfather were able to realize an incredible miracle called Renaissance. And for us, it's not very easy to maintain the benchmark with the past. But I believe important not only for Florence, but for Italy to come back to the future with the Renaissance ideas. The money in the past was able to create culture, to create literature, public libraries. The first public library was created by Medici's family. And also in the past, there are very interesting the approach about the relation between banks and states. Now, in the United States, like in Europe, states saved the banks and also the stock option of managers, but this is a different story. In the past, in Florence, the Florentine bankers saved the state. For example, saved the king of England. Because the idea is the banks at service of the people, not the people at the service of banks. This is very interesting provocation for the present time. Obviously, for Florence it's important not only become a museum open sky. We must encourage the contemporary art. We must encourage the ability of young and old artisans and investors. We must create a city who love much the past but who build a future. This is important for my city. But from my city, it's important also to give a message. Renaissance Age is not only in the history's books. The Renaissance Age is important for the political approach of today. I'm proud to be a Florentine, but I'm proud to be a citizen of the world. The Italian role now is create an opportunity, a special opportunity to bring together a world based not only on the economic values, but an idea of culture, an idea of hope, an idea of vision who is different between today's debates around the world. So to be an Italian today means maintain the past values based on the beauty, on the cultural heritage, and give them an opportunity to exploit in the future. Because it's strange, but the world needs a different Italy. The world needs an Italy in which it's possible to not only remember the past, but build a concrete, a good experience for the future.